So it's Dr. Glenn Davies from Reversal NZ and from Reverse T2 Diabetes Topor, coming to you again from the greenhouse. And what we're talking about today is that carbs are sugar. Now, people with diabetes and people wanting to lose weight, I think every single one of them knows that they should not be eating sugar. But the piece of information that we've only just really been teaching people is that all carbohydrates become sugar. So brown rice becomes blood sugar. A piece of Vogel's bread becomes brown sugar. A kumara becomes brown sugar. So what we've been teaching people is to avoid sugar, or what we've been teaching people for, sort of the last 40 years, is to avoid sugar, but it's okay to have low glycemic index carbohydrates. And what I'm telling you is that I don't think that's helpful teaching, because every carbohydrate becomes blood sugar, and then that excess blood sugar gets turned into fat. All right, so what I'm going to show you is a infographic from one of my greatest heroes, David Unwin, who's a general practitioner in the UK, and one of the first people that I saw in a practical sense that was able to reverse type 2 diabetes with diet. So I'm going to hold this up for you here. Now, in that top section there, I imagine you won't be able to read it, but I can explain what it's saying. What it's doing is it's converting foods into teaspoon equivalents of sugar. Okay, so 1 teaspoon is about 4 or 5 grams of sugar, and at any one time you should have no more than 4 grams of glucose in your blood. Now, if you look at that top line there, it doesn't really matter if you can't see it, but you'll see that there are 10 teaspoon equivalents of sugar, and that is 1 serving of rice. So 1 serving of standard rice is 10 teaspoon equivalents of sugar. So you eat a serving of rice, you now have in your blood 10 times the amount of sugar that should be in your blood. When I say that, are you starting to see what the problem is? Let's go down. The next one down is 9 teaspoon equivalents of sugar, and that is 1 serving of boiled potatoes. Okay, so there are now 9 times the amount of sugar that you should have in your blood if you've had a standard serving of potatoes. The next one down is 7.5, and that's French fries. And we keep going down. 1 serving of spaghetti, 6.6 teaspoon equivalents of sugar. 1 serving of sweet corn is 4. Now, this is interesting. 1 banana. So 1 banana is 5.7 teaspoon equivalents of sugar. An apple, 2.3. And 1 slice of wholemeal bread. So 1 slice of Vogel's bread down there towards the bottom. That is 3 teaspoon equivalents of sugar. And then down at the bottom, if we have a look at broccoli, broccoli is 0.2 teaspoon equivalents of sugar, so virtually nothing, and an egg is 0. So can you see, if you had some broccoli and eggs, you virtually had put no glucose into your blood. However, if you had rice or potato or French fries or even a banana, see how you've now put a lot of sugar into your blood. Now let's look down at this next one down here. So this one, which is sort of in yellow, the top segment in yellow there. So what that is that is talking about what we would have considered to be a healthy breakfast. So I'll tell you what's in there. We have got some bran flakes, some skim milk, 1 piece of toast, and some pure apple juice, so 1 glass of pure apple juice. And guess how many teaspoon equivalents of sugar that is? It's 16.3. So that healthy breakfast is 16.3 teaspoon equivalents of sugar. So people are starting their day with dessert. Basically, they are starting the day with a meal which is jam-packed with sugar, and they are spiking their insulin at the very beginning of the day. So with breakfast, they have spiked their insulin. They've already put their body into fat storage mode with their first meal of the day, which they would have believed was healthy. So I find this an incredibly useful document, because what it's teaching us there is that every carbohydrate that we eat, when it's digested, it becomes blood sugar, and that blood sugar has to either be stored as glycogen, burned as fuel, but any excess will be taken to the liver and converted to fat. So excess carbohydrate in the diet becomes fat, and it's not just sugar, it's all the carbs. So what we're teaching people with a low carb or a ketogenic diet is to eat foods which are low in carbohydrate so that they are not converting carbs into fat. And if you're not doing that, then you will start to use stored fat as fuel, and you're going to be losing weight and reversing type 2 diabetes. So thank you to David Unwin for that really, really useful tool. This is on, if you want to print that out, that's on the Reverse T2 Diabetes, the Reversal New Zealand site. You can print it out from them, and it's also on the Reverse T2 Diabetes Topor site. In the resources section, you can print it out from there. So the basic message: all carbohydrates, not just sugar, become blood glucose, and they need to be dealt with by the body. And just a simple serving of rice has 10 times the amount of sugar that you should be eating. Thanks.